Okay. So last time we left off here, you were deliberating. You don't want anyone to have this thing, this rod of ghoulification.
So, I want it to be in a place where people more than likely won't get it, right? And honestly, I actually think that wagering it is actually a good idea. If I lose, like it goes to Baratheon, he probably won't use it. Um,
You say that, but Baratheon has people who betray him, and I'm sure it would give him all the kicks in the world to turn them into a creature who could not control their hunger. Sure,
he
he
does. Is he?
wouldn't.
Is he? Is he malevolent?
I would call him that. Others would say otherwise, but he is vengeful upon those who do him wrong.
Hmm,
At
I
times,
don't
he can
trust.
also be jovial, but
I
he's a
don't trust the
bear.
humans with it. I definitely don't trust the elves. In fact, I trust the humans the least, right?
You don't trust us? I would destroy it almost immediately.
See, you would, but you also have people who would betray you. And as far as I know, you are on the losing side of this conflict.
We are, but we do not need to turn men into ghouls to win this conflict or to see our
Desperation,
needs met.
desperation brings out the worst in people.
Not in me or the mother of our people.
And I can't give it to the humans because I know for sure they'll probably use it, especially Stewart.
I have no doubt that your Baron would hesitate at least to use it in any time other than desperate, but these are about to be desperate times.
Exactly. So I'll just keep it.
Your count.
I'll give it to Mikey.
You're gonna give it to Mikey. This is like you're like, hey, country bumpkin, take this magic rod of ghoulification. Like he doesn't even have the ability to process that. I don't think. Um, on like an emotional level, like he'd just be like, wait, what does this do? Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go talk to Baratheon. We'll figure out what it does later.
Okay. You are led into this cave. More paintings line the cave walls of Baratheon, perhaps, or some other bear. You're not entirely sure. You haven't asked. In various states of combat, of glory, of purpose. And within a minute, you will reach a large chamber. It's strange how this cave is shaped. It's shaped almost like like the globe of a globe, and there's a ring kind of that you come out on, and there's a hole in the center of this globe that leads down further into the cave, but it looks just to be a pit. Around this pit, as you look, sit many kobolds looking down, and at the opposite side of this entrance that you have come in is a large oaken throne, and on it sits a bear. Um, he looks to be sitting like he is a humanoid, but he is bear-shaped. You're not sure how he's contorting himself to sit on this throne, but he is large and brown and furry. He sits at about 12 feet tall on this oaken throne. The throne matches his height, and as you enter, a loud voice booms. You've come to bargain.
Yes, Baratheon, I've come to bargain.
And
Um, yeah, and I want to see what I want to um be subject to one of your legendary tests. I've heard great things about you, and I want to test myself.
You wish to test yourself?
Yeah, I do.
What do you have to bargain?
I have this, and I pull out um my scroll of Lance of Disruption.
Oh. That scroll does what?
Um, as far as I know, it creates a um a spear of energy that can hit multiple foes at once and eviscerate them completely.
That would be of use to me, for I have many who would need eviscerating.
I'm sure you don't need a scroll to eviscerate anyone, seeing as you're um, a giant, but it would help.
I suppose. My trial is grand. Are you sure you are up to it?
No, but I'm willing to try.
And
If
what
I was sure, I'd be arrogant.
would you ask in return for
What
such
do
a
you have,
trial?
actually?
I have many, many things in my hoard. What do you wish for? Let it be known.
Do you know anything about um, the ruins beneath Lakeport?
I am old, and I know many things. I am aware that a great evil has been locked below the city of Wakeport, and once it is unleashed, many, many evils will be reckoned upon the land in great succession. It
Okay.
is a sign more than the curse itself of a time of mischief.
I know what I want.
What do you want?
I want your knowledge.
That deal is acceptable to me. He haunches up. And so, do I declare this deal struck, Elred?
You know what I mean by that, right? I want to have access to anything you know, right? In regards to anything that you may possibly know, right? At any time. So your permanent counsel.
You must come to me for such thing, but I will be your sage if you ask of it.
Deal.
Then the deal has been struck, and a loud boom shakes the foundation of this cave. Your task, Elred, is to find and ride a hippogriff to this cave. He points upward, and you can see the night sky opening up a small hole at the top, probably enough for a man to slip down through. You will ride the hippogriff down here. Fly before me, show me its majestic awe, and I will consider our bargain struck. You have 2 weeks to do such thing, and if you fail, I get your scroll.
Awesome.
The bear growls. And so it is done. Your time starts tomorrow morn.
Okay. Thank you. And I leave. I'm I'm going to ask Loken if he knows anything about hippogriffs.
He ponders. They are flying beasts. They travel in herds. They are not native to the Mon, but I believe they are in the plains to the north, or the Light Forest, as some of your menfolk tend to call it. They are difficult creatures to find as they fly and don't generally stay in one place. They are omnivores, eating both other creatures and wild shrubbery. They're very stubborn.
Okay.
The rolling hills, the Iron Hills, they often perch upon a hill trying to look around and see all that there is to make sure no predators come to catch them. For their only real defense is their flight from stronger creatures, although they are quite ferocious if cornered.
How long will it take me to get to the Iron Hills from this forest?
He ponders for a moment. Or are you just asking the DM?
No, I'm asking Loken.
It's around 50 miles. It should take about a day, but finding a hippogriff, it's very difficult.
And you said these things are beasts, correct?
They are beasts. They are not naturally occurring creatures. They are magical in their nature, although much less unicorn powerful when it comes to magic than a unicorn or a griffin. These beasts are not naturally occurring from the gods. They were created by man.
So I would assume this ring wouldn't work on them.
I would doubt it, although experimentation is always required. My inferences would be to say no.
Okay. Cool.
He holds his light-covered staff.
Can they speak? Are they intelligent in any way, shape, or form?
And they do not speak, but they are more. They are usually more intelligent than other animals. Not grasping language, but being more attuned to the inferences they see around them. They have a better sense for intention, and they're not stupid. They can understand very basic concepts. If you point somewhere, they will understand what you're pointing at. They can't read or write, but do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're like dogs.
Yes, a small bit smarter, but roughly equivalent.
Yeah.
Maybe like a have you ever heard of a parrot?
Oh, like the bird?
Yes. They are like a parrot, but with better sense of direction, like a dog. It's very interesting. They are the combination of an eagle and a horse. Very strange creatures to combine. It would be interesting if you could tame one.
It would be. I don't think 2 weeks is enough.
His bargain is steep, and his quests are difficult.
Okay. I think that I do have an advantage though. Um, since it's probably finding one.
You have an advantage?
Yeah. Um, I can befriend animals to lead me to them. So it'd probably be easier to find them.
But you could not speak to them.
Does it? Yeah, I can't. I have to train them the good old fashioned way.
That would take some time. My advice: seek out a druid of the hills. I'm sure they would be more in tune with nature if your quest takes you there.
Okay, do you know of such a druid that lives in the hills?
I do not. I know of ones in the Mon, but I doubt they would have any information about the Iron Hills.
Well, do you think they? I don't know. How far do the druid networks go? Right? Do you think they know?
They tend to stay to their own terrain, so druids of the Mon would know things about the Spider Grove, but druids of the hills contact druids of the hills and tend to remain separate orders.
Ooh, do you think the animals will know where the druids are?
It's potential. I'm not sure how you would communicate such a thing. Animals are very unintelligent, and seeing a druid is like seeing another man in the forest, except they're more friendly. You definitely need speech, I believe, to communicate that with the animals.
And there's no spell that lets you speak with animals, is there?
There is, but it's held by priest and druids.
Okay. All right. I would like to see a druid of the Mon to see if they can teach me the spell.
I do not think it is of your comprehension. Again, it is a druidic spell. He looks at you. If you still need to meet a druid, I suppose I could introduce you. It would take some time for me to track them down. They're slippery. Probably a day.
Yeah, I think so.
Can I find you somewhere specific, or...?
Is there anyone that you think would be of particular help in this endeavor? But
Druids of the forest are not druids of the hills. Whatever you plan to talk to them about is your business, but...
yeah, just I don't know anything about animals other than hunting them and tracking them. So yeah, I think that any help would get any information would be of use.
I will contact them. Where should I send them to? Overit.
They can meet me in the lumber camp. Actually, I'll be there.
An interesting meeting place. I will see you then, or perhaps not. Send
Yeah,
one
perhaps
with
not. All right.
Just doesn't get first. We need force.
I go back to the lumber camp. I talk to Mikey.
Okay, you head back to the lumber camp. It'll take you some time to get there. The better part of the afternoon. It is early morning as you exit this the cave of the Great Bear. All right. You make it to the lumber camp undisturbed. You meet with Mikey. He asks what happened.
I just tell him.
Okay. He looks surprised but nods. Weirder things have happened between us. I wasn't aware there was a great bear out here. That's strange.
Yeah, neither was I. But you know, we learn things every day.
We do. You'd be aware your 2 weeks starts now.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. Mikey asks what we're gonna do. How are we gonna capture a hippogriff? It's a
I
difficult
don't think
thing.
we need to capture one.
What do we need to do then? How are you gonna ride
Um,
it?
according to the bear, we just have to um have it fly around, and I don't know what was his exact words. We had to
He
ride
said
it, right?
you have to ride in on a hippogriff through that opening at the top of his cave.
Interesting. Yeah, that's basically you know what we have to do. So I don't think he ever said we had to tame it.
He did not. He said you had to ride it in, mount it, and ride it to his cave, fly in through that hole.
Yeah, it could be less. I'm thinking less fly and more gracefully falling. We'll see
Right.
what we can do.
They will give you breakfast at this lumber camp. Um, around that evening, you will be graced by a figure coming out of the woods. It is a halfling who stands at about 4 feet tall, pretty tall halfling, and doesn't have any clothes except for a loincloth. He's got a curved oaken staff, and he's got brownish hair. You can't really tell his age. Halflings are a little elusive to that kind of thing. But he walks up to you and goes, "Are you Elred?"
I am the only gray elf around here, so yeah.
"I am Flower. Hello."
Oh, Flower. I'd like to seek your advice.
"I will give it, as Loken has told me your purpose is noble."
Yeah. How would I find a druid? Do you know anything about the druids of the hills, and how would I find one?
There
I
are
need help.
there are druids of the hills. That order tends to look over their flocks, mostly herd animals and of that nature, although occasionally you'll see them look over various other creatures that inhabit those hills. Although their power is much more limited than ours, as their creatures tend to be prey far more often than predator to the monsters of the hills.
Is a hippogriff considered a monster?
Yes, it is. They are a wizard experiment created to be prey for griffins, another wizard creation. Although I am not sure who, I am not well read on that. I only hear the legends.
Okay. Um, what do you know about taming monsters?
Taming a hippogriff is a great feat. Taming monsters, there are enchanting spells that can do such things, charm spells that can do such things, but they are high of power. I believe only a fourth power caster can do such a thing. With those, the ability, I mean, to cast fourth level spells.
Yeah, I assumed as much. Well,
Perhaps you could find a scroll somewhere of Charm Monster, although I do not know where that would be.
would I even be able to cast it?
You are able to cast scrolls of higher levels, yes. That would destroy
For
the scroll,
free?
though.
So if I'm at a level, right, where uh so if I'm at a lower level, I can still cast higher level spells from a scroll, but it would destroy the scroll.
Yes.
But if I'm at the level where I'm able to cast it naturally, I wouldn't destroy the scroll.
You would if you use it like a scroll, but you can also memorize spells off of scrolls and learn them. So you could learn the spell, and once it's learned, it wouldn't require destroying the scroll, and you could keep memorizing it off of the scroll. But yeah.
I see.
Yep.
That is interesting.
It is.
Okay. Well then, do you have any advice you could give me in this quest of getting a hippogriff to fly?
Well, you have multiple difficulties ahead of you. Charming it would be the easiest solution. Perhaps there are other ways to gain the trust of such a creature, although I'm not sure what you would do to do that. Ooh, there is one thing you could do.
What is
They
that?
prize their eggs. And if you were to bring them back one of their eggs, I am sure one of these creatures would. Flower scratches his brown, fluffy hair. Oh, they would be ever so grateful to you. They would understand you as a friend at least, so that would allow you to get close. The riding thing, I'm not sure how you'd accomplish that, but one of their eggs. But I warn you, if you were to find one, it'd likely be from a human, and they're worth thousands of gold. Very expensive merchandise. Very hard to come by, too. I'm sure if you go asking around in Mon Thoris or perhaps even Mon Mill, you could find someone with a hippogriff egg. Probably a noble, though.
I'm gonna head to the Iron Hills first.
So be it. If you ever need my assistance, I have heard your purpose is good and noble, and as long as it stays that way, I am at your call if you need help. Although don't kill any woodland creatures on my watch. Flower smiles.
Alright, thank you, Flowers.
Good day. He will wander back into the woods, giving a frown at the lumberjacks and flipping them the bird as he leaves. Okay, what is Elred going to do?
He's gonna head to the Iron Hills.
Okay, that'll take you about a day. It's mid-afternoon, so you'll get to about this tile here. But let me roll to see if any encounters occur. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Since you start to exit the forest, we'll first change our music. Not that one. This one. Okay. Ah. That's interesting. You are walking through the plains area. You just exit the Mon Mon, and as soon as you do, you see off in the distance. Let me roll for. Okay. You see a male in chainmail with a warhammer and what looks to be a large holy symbol around their neck. It appears to be a black orb. They look to you, you look to them.
Do I know whose symbol that is?
Yes, this would be Zek, Essence of Darkness.
So this is a bad person.
That's subjective. You know enough about, you don't have a religion proficiency, but you know enough about the gods to know that anyone in the Essence Pantheon is generally considered by humans to be good. Because they are the patron deities of humans. The Darkness god, or essence, covers night in all capacity. You could view them as almost like a cleric of the moon, but instead just a cleric of the night sky. Some are evil, but the god's alignment tends to be chaotic neutral more than anything else. He nods at you, not making any moves towards you. He's walking through these plains, it looks like. Towards South Van. Okay, you go up to him. He appears to be wearing mostly dark-covered clothes as well. He's got brownish hair, and he looks to be probably about Mikey's age. He'll put his chainmail over his shoulder instead of holding it at his side and look to the two of you and go, "Hail."
Hail, I am Elred the Shaper, and you are?
I am Victorian, cleric of Zek. I'm no vicar, though. I hold no station in towns or with the church.
So are you on some sort of pilgrimage, or what?
I go where my deity commands. And he tells me to go south. He says business in South Van. He says there is business for me in South Van, although I do not know what yet. They speak in feelings rather than words.
Well, I'm headed to the Iron Hills in search of hippogriff eggs. I heard that you can make a lot of money from them.
Yes, although I would never do such a thing. No interest in it.
Well, more so like I'm thinking about returning said eggs to the hippogriffs.
An interesting quest.
Yeah, it's I guess the gods work in mysterious ways.
They do.
Are you headed to anywhere in particular?
South Van.
Oh, interesting. I know that the Baron of South Van is looking for employment. Maybe you could become a vicar there. I don't know.
Few nobles personally recruit the clergy. I have no interest either if he is looking for one such as me. I have duties to attend all over these various kingdoms. I hold no position for any noble or any nation.
Okay, then where are you from originally?
I was born in the Indarian Plains, but I have traveled from the Imperium all the way in the west, through the plains once again, through Southumberland, and I have barely touched Northumberland. But I have been there for but a moment to bring back the darkness into areas where it has failed to arise.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
There are those who wish to blight out the night sky and take advantage of everlasting sunlight. I take those who would do such a thing to the sword, or a warhammer in my case. And there are those who occupy the darkness, who Zek thinks should not, and I root them out of their dark holes and bring back its pure, blissful purity.
That's interesting, right? Because I recently defeated a necromancer who was very much a fan of the darkness.
Perhaps our task was related, but I am still called there for some reason.
Perhaps it was.
Could be to purify whatever remains.
I'll bid you adieu. I gotta go to the Iron Hills to find hippogriffs.
Good day, and may the shadows guide you.
Yes.
Nods. And you can continue to wander. Eventually, it gets dark. About 30 minutes after you pass him, and Mikey suggests you set up camp in these lightly covered forest plains. You can see the night sky much more clearly than you could in the Mon Mon, and light moonlight guides your feet.
I definitely do. We take rests. We split watches.
You will split watches. Mikey will go first. See if anything happens. Oh my, oof. Okay. On Mikey's watch. Okay. He will wake you up suddenly. He goes, Elred, Elred!
Yeah, what's going on?
He points to the sky.
What's in the sky?
In the sky, you see... Give me just a moment. You see a yellowish creature flying kind of through this plains towards the coast. It's yellow. It's glimmering in the night sky. It kind of shadows over the... It kind of... shadows the moon? No. Sits in front of the moon, covering some of its light. It's a large yellow creature with big wings. It looks to have 4 legs. It's about maybe anywhere from 40 to 50 feet in body length. And it's got a long tail that goes about 20 or so extra feet as it flies through the air. It's got little fins on its head. It's got sharp teeth. You can see it kind of gritting as it flies, as it flaps its wings. He goes, a dragon. Have you ever seen one, Elred? Elred? Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking. I've never seen a dragon before. I thought there was only a dragon in the Mon Mon forest.
There's a green dragon. This one must be Velmathar. He tends to stick to the coast. I'm not sure why he's out here. He's a topaz, I believe, is what they could. That topaz dragon?
Very strange.
He is, sorry, his body is 80 feet. Excuse me. He's one of the oldest dragons in all of Idmar.
Do I know if dragons are generally good-natured or what?
Do you have a lore proficiency you can tap into there?
I do have lore, actually.
Give me your intelligence check with your lore proficiency.
I think lore is charisma.
Oh, then give me your charisma, if it is. Oh, yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we? Yep, it's charisma. Give me a d20 plus 10.
Nope.
Dragons exist. There are good and bad ones, and neutral ones. You have no idea what topaz dragons are.
We'll just lay low.
Quite the sight.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You said they're usually on the coast? Like, what are they doing so far inland? I wonder.
It's a curiosity. Or he is on the coast, or it. I'm unsure of what... They call it Velmathar. There's no mistaking that one for who it is. I have heard few tales of interactions with Velmathar, Elred.
Were they good?
Most just are the same as this one. They spot him flying, but usually at the coast. Rarely has anyone ever spoken to him, I do not think. I have yet to hear a tale. He's very old. I know that much. It's been hundreds and hundreds of years with sightings of him.
Okay. Well, guess it was a nice sight, but we gotta keep going. We only have a couple days left before this.
Yes.
We have our quest ends.
And it is, it's your watch now.
I'll just keep watch.
Okay. You keep watch, and eventually morning comes. No more instances occur, and you can set off towards the hills once again with Mikey. And you will make it to the hills. Let's see. In morning still, late morning, but you'll make it to the hills. You stand at the edge of the Iron Hills. You see many of them flowing upwards from the light forest. And as you go crest to hill, you can look around and you see various different woodland creatures off in the distance. Not woodland, sorry. Hill creatures off in the distance. Sheep, goats, other fauna, birds in the sky. But you do not spot anything specific as you look over the hills yet. Mikey goes, I've never been here before. Mr. Elred. Never seen a hill like this. Or these many. Mr. Elred? Teo? Did we lose?
Yes?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay. Just thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, I don't know what to do other than just going into the Iron Hills. I wonder what the... Mikey, do you know anything about the dip?
Yeah, I've heard tales. Humans and dwarves tell it differently. You would actually have heard about the dip, being your history, with the dwarves in Independence Past. They talk about a dwarf, thousands of years ago, took a giant hammer that he crafted and smashed a hole in the middle of the hills, in anger at... Some say the gods, others say a giant, some say a dragon, but the tales differ, but they talk about the dwarf coming there, smashing a hole, and leaving it there evermore for future generations to see. Mikey will tell you, the humans say that the god of crafting, Chronikar, decided one day that there must be an ever flat place among the hills to remind those mining there that their gifts could be taken away at a moment's notice. That's the tale the humans tell. You do know Mon Mill is full of hill dwarves. Not the same as the mountain dwarves, but similar. And they mine in these hills quite often. But you can go walk in the dip, Mikey will tell you. It's flat. It's not a good idea, usually, because the creatures can spot you from every side of the hills, and if they're unfriendly, they will approach. The wind kind of drifts.
All right. Sorry for the brief intervention. I had to take care of something really quickly. I apologize.
It's okay.
So let's. I'm trying to think, like, how am I gonna find a druid? Is there? I could burn down the forest. Right?
Jesus. Yeah, that could be something you do.
Shoot. I don't know. Are there any groups of people that live in the Iron Hills?
There are. Mikey will tell you that there's a lot of orcs and hobgoblins in these hills. Other than that,
those are not really people that I want to talk to.
There's giants, kobolds, ogres sometimes.
Why does Iron Hill sound more dangerous than the Mon Forest?
It is more. Mikey will say this place is notoriously more dangerous than the Mon. Not a lot of people come out here unless they're coming to mine, and they come with mercenaries to protect them.
All right, let's head to Mon Mill.
Okay. You will head to Mon Mill. I know you're... Just need to make sure timelines. Sebastian is currently in Mon Mill.
Yeah, I can see his token, and I'm just like, yeah, what if I just meet Sebastian?
But he's like... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. You're here much later than him, though. So I don't know what's going to happen between then and now, so I'm going to keep some stuff vague that he's interacted with, but he's here like months before you. Not months, but like a month before you, essentially. He could be dead by now. So.
I see. But like, so definitely the tales of Sebastian would have been told.
Yeah, so you'll hear some news about Sebastian if he did something important here. There is news already, though, that there's been a serial killer.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I definitely hear about like a serial killer.
Yeah, but that's in Mid-River. I don't know what he's going to do in Mon Mill yet, so he could be in a lot of trouble, and you could hear tales, so keep an open mind. I might update you later on what you heard if it's relevant.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to Mon Mill. Let's see what's up.
Are you going through the hills or around them?
Around the hills, because this place is apparently very dangerous. Okay. So I'll just take another extra day.
It was early morning. It'll take you 40 miles. You can get there by the end of today, but it'll be super dark by the time you get there if you want to try that.
What if I use my mounts?
That will go quicker if you use mount spells.
Yeah, I'll use my mount.
Okay. So Do you and Mikey garner the same horse? Because I believe you only have one mount spell right now.
Yep, I'll use one mount.
Still, the horse can carry you both. You're light, and Mikey's not super heavy. I don't think he's wearing chainmail, is he? Let's make sure he's not.
No, he's not. He's wearing scale mail.
I actually don't see. I think he's wearing leather.
Oh yeah, he is wearing leather.
Or studded leather. There, yep, 12 AC studded leather. I have it written down. Cool. That should actually be 13. Or 3 AC. There we go. But he is wearing studded leather, so that's not that heavy. The light riding horse will carry the both of you. How long will this take? Let me just check. The horse is 20. Okay. And that means can move. That's not right. Sorry, whoops. 2.5. Okay, yeah. You'll get there around evening instead of late in the night. And you will make it to the outskirts of Mon Mill undisturbed as you ride just outside of the hills. You make it there, and you see, as you approach, many, many dwarven homes. You can tell they're dwarven homes because they are half-sized. You would be aware, Mikey probably wouldn't, that many of these homes dig further into the earth for their structure rather than build upwards. They build down in small basement homes where they usually live most of their lives.
Wow. Yeah, I can actually apply my knowledge of dwarf culture.
Yes.
Now.
These are a bit different, but hill dwarves and mountain dwarves share many similarities. And as you approach, you see those many. I guess I can actually pull you to the map here. Here's our colorful Mon Mill. You approach from this side, heading into what appears to be a place where craftsmen are working. You again see many dwarven shops. Most of this town is dwarven. And you enter.
I'm gonna find an inn.
There are 2 human-sized inns. There is Fickelstein's Freckle, which is a little more like middle class, where traders and that kind of folk will meet. And then there's the Wilted Rose, which is a very poor tavern and looks to be very tavern and inn that looks to be very rowdy. And you'll have to sleep on the floor in the common room with people if you sleep there.
Yeah, I'm going to the middle class one.
Okay, you'll enter in, and hopefully this guy is still alive. I doubt Sebastian will kill him. But you will see a large man in an apron smattered with different greases, and he's behind the bar to this tavern/inn, flipping what look to be very fluffy flapjacks on a grill. And he will hail you as you come in. Hail! And then he looks at you for a second, goes, "Oh, an elf! Welcome to my establishment. I'm Fickelstein, and these are my flapjacks. Free with every stay. You looking for a room? Or just some flapjacks?"
Looking for a room. And I'm looking for a druid as well.
5 silver a night, 3 gold a week.
A week. I'll just plop him 3 gold.
You will take your 3 gold, pocket it, and go and get you some flapjacks while we talk about this druid business. Pets his large stomach. Ah, you're looking for a druid, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. While our DM looks at his local info doc.
I was wondering if the merchants would know anything about the druids. Like, do they trade with them or anything like that?
He will look. I need to make some edits on this. Hold on. I have my old title for clerics. I don't know no druids, mister, but I do know a cleric in town. He is the local vicar. He's got that temple of justice and order. Judicon is his deity, but his name is Vicar Michael. He's around 21. Young lad, honestly. If you're looking for that kind of folk. Why are you looking for a druid?
I'm looking for hippogriffs.
Oh, a hippogriff. Well, I do got stories about them. I seen them out in the hills myself here and there in my long life, although it's probably short for you, mister. He's got these guys, they fly. They're pretty vicious if they are hungry enough, but I ain't never seen them attack nobody.
Have you ever heard? Sorry to interrupt, but have you ever heard of anyone taming a hippogriff?
Not taming. There's a noble over in Monthoris who's got one of their eggs. I know about that. Apparently he hired one of them sneaky fellows, one of them less scrupulous folks, to find a nest and steal an egg, and it worked.
But there are no tales of anyone ever riding a hippogriff before.
Oh, I've heard tall tales. I don't know if I believe them. I've never seen someone ride a hippogriff. I've heard of one, though. They call him Lancel, and he said he hopped on a hippogriff one day and flew it out through the hills, and then he came back into town without a hippogriff and told everyone that story, so who really knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. What's the name of this noble?
Ooh. Fester Bronze. He's Fester Bronze. He's a scrupulous folk, I'd say. I've heard tales about him having connects with local, you ever hear of the Copperheads?
Like the snake?
Yeah, like the snake, but they're a local, guild of thieves and ne'er-do-wells. Murderers, thievers, robbers, bandits. Although they say they don't exist, you'll see a building with a little copper-headed snake carved into it, and that'll be one of theirs. Although, not willingly sometimes. I don't know who leads them, but I know they got people in town.
Okay.
That's probably who stole the eggs. They probably found someone from there.
I don't want to get involved in crime. Actually, no, I do want to get involved in crime. At least criminals. Yeah, thanks for the info. Let me see if I can go talk to the Copperheads.
Okay.
See if they have any info on how they stole this hippogriff egg.
Where do you seek out the local Copperheads?
Well, they said that they have symbols around town, right?
So you look for a building with a copperhead carved into it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. You will find one of those dwarven houses that has a copperhead carved into it. It is in the poorer part of town over here as you wander. What do you do?
Um. Yeah, I'm going to move closer towards it.
Okay.
Just kind of stand outside with Mikey.
How long do you stand outside? Are you trying to be noticed, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to be noticed.
Okay. Eventually, you'll hear some noise as the door opens, and a 4.5-foot tall dwarf stumbles out. He's got a long orange beard, and he is wearing leather armor, and he's got a cudgel at his side. He goes, "What you doing outside my house?"
In Dwarvish, I tell him that I am looking for information.
He raises an eyebrow and responds in Dwarven. What? What information? Mikey looks confused.
Looking for information on procuring a certain item. An egg, a hippogriff egg. You know, like, I heard tales of your people procuring one.
You hear him in Dwarven say, "The night owl walks at midnight. Where do you want these eggs?"
I want information on them, where to find them.
Do you know the seals sit at the seashore?
Is there a way we can speak plainly? I'm not versed in your...
He raises another eyebrow.
Not one of your people. I'm...
What's your name?
Elred.
Where are you from?
I am from the Grey Mountains.
And you're looking for eggs? They got them down at the general store. Why don't you go there?
I'm looking for hippogriff eggs.
Looking for hippogriff eggs. And you're coming to me, why?
Because your house has the copperhead symbol on it.
I didn't put that there, mister. I don't know who did. I got no part in that. Whatever you're talking about.
Can I discern if he's lying or not?
Give me a charisma check and I will tell you what he looks like while he says it. You know, it's hard to tell what kind of vibe he's trying to give off or isn't trying to give off.
Well, I will say this, right? I'm willing to pay handsomely. Well, I won't say handsomely, but I'm willing to pay for information regarding the last job that you did for a certain noble. What was his name? Fickle something?
Fickelstein is the tavern owner. His name was Fester Browns.
Yeah, Fester Browns.
Fester. I'd never done no work for Fester. I'm just a laborer. But if someone did do work for Fester, that'd be a high-paying job. Lots of gold involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I want to talk to people who I'm actually interested in a heist. In regards to Fester.
You want a heist with a noble? I don't know what you're talking about, mister.
I wanna steal from a noble.
Look, if there was a hypothetical thing here going on, I don't think I want any part of it. I'm sure you're
Well, it's
just joshing me.
It's a job. That's what I'm offering.
Yeah, you need a house built. I
Well,
get what you mean.
yeah. Well, if you can help me get someone who can talk to me about said job, right? I will be at not Fester's, Finkelstein's Inn, waiting there. Tomorrow would be much appreciated. Big job, lots of money involved. You know how it is with nobles.
We've built a lot of houses here for Fester Browns. Nice houses.
Yes.
And you're coming here telling me that you want to steal from Fester Browns. He's been a good patron to me and my folk. I don't know about this dishonesty. It's thievery. It's trickery you're trying to pull on someone we are nice with, that we've built many houses for.
Is there honor among house builders?
House builders need to get paid.
Well, I'm a man of influence myself.
You don't look it.
You've heard of I'm sure you've heard of Wakeport.
Thought you said you were from the Grey Mountains. What you got to do with Wakeport?
I'm the Magi of Wakeport.
And I'm the king of Southumberland.
Oh, you don't believe me? Well, I mean, you have what? I'm sure you have a guild of house builders that can check up on this information. I'm already giving you.
What'd you say?
I said I've already given you my name.
True, you have. But I'm not so inclined to build a house for a man I don't know so well.
Well, I'm in desperate need of some houses being built very soon and very quickly. And if all goes well, if you're like an expert house builder, I'm sure that Fester Browns wouldn't even need to know that you built a house for me.
I don't think you're looking for me, man. You know what how about you lighten your purse for a moment and I can send you in the right direction?
Sure. How much for how much to see what was it? To survey the land before the house gets built, right?
If you're looking for a surveyor, I'd say that'll cost you like, let's say, a gold piece.
Yeah, sure.
You hand him a gold piece, and he'll take it. He'll go, "You're looking not for us, man. We build houses. You're looking for that surveyor. His name is Stone Teller. He works alone, surveying. He's at the Wilted Rose usually, hanging out at his favorite table. Go ask the innkeeper there for him, and he'll point you in the right direction. Tavern keeper,
Okay.
Excuse me.
Let's go.
Okay, you head off to the Wilted Rose. That man, the dwarf, raises an eyebrow. And you go to this ramshackle tavern. It is very ramshackle. It's got a sign that says the Wilted Rose, and you see the rose is faded and definitely hanging off a little bit on the sign. It looks like the paint has kind of smeared over time and made kind of a misshapen rose. You go inside, and it is rowdy. There's men and women close in proximity compared to the Fickelsteins. That looks to be a wholesome family place. This is like a rowdy night bar in a city where people are dancing and partying, and some people sit alone with quiet stares at each other and talking in hushed whispers. There's a lot of dwarves and plenty of men as well in this tavern.
Mon Mill have a magi?
You would just be aware from what you've been hearing on the streets. Yes, Mon Mill actually has 2 wizards, unless our friend kills them. Hopefully, Sebastian does not kill any of these wizards. I don't think he has a reason to. But there is a magi, a 70-year-old male named Dolph. He's a generalist wizard. And there is also a woman who owns a magic shop named Wenry, who is an invoker. You would have heard of.
Okay.
Yes. What'd you say? Sorry, I missed.
No, I just said okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right, I'm gonna go talk to Stone Teller.
So you go talk to Stone Teller. You ask the innkeeper, I assume, where's Stone Teller?
I'm also gonna briefly inform Mikey that we found out that since we found out that a noble has the Griffin eggs, we are going to take it from him without his knowledge.
It's a dangerous task, Elred.
Yeah, I don't think he'll give it to us. That's the problem.
I don't know how you plan to do that, but
see, I do feel like the end goal is noble, so we'll put it back, right?
I don't disagree with you. Reuniting a mother with its child, regardless of race or species, is probably a good thing, but just, that's
the greater good, because we probably need to defeat Baratheon so that we can find out what this great evil is, so we can prepare against it, right? So
yeah, it's I'm more concerned about the danger, I don't know a lot about politics, but if a court wizard of one noble gets caught in another's bedroom dresser, things go haywire.
they do. It's something I just have to put my life on the line for. Yours too, but that's just part of elven humor.
I suppose. And the bartender will tell you that Stone Teller's at a table over there by himself. You see a little booth that sits in the corner of this tavern. Poorly lit, is what looks to be a dwarf-sized creature with a hood completely up, brown kind of cloak, and clothes, doesn't appear to be wearing any armor, sitting there in a corner, drinking some mead, some ale.
Stone Teller, I say in Dwarven.
The fox's cloak is cold.
Yeah,
Dwarf responds back. Sounds like a female voice, though.
Well, I can't tell the difference.
No? And you also know there are no female dwarves.
Oh.
Unless
You're right.
Unless it's a trans dwarf, but
I forgot about that.
As you peer at the creature, it does appear they're a halfling.
Okay, Mrs. Stone Teller, I need your help.
It's just Stone Teller.
Okay.
It's a title more than a name.
Aha. Well, Stone Teller, I'm going to need your help in surveying a noble, surveying for a noble goal, right? Let's just put it like that.
I do surveying work, and I am aware of what noble goals we could pursue. Let's take a seat, elf.
Okay, and take a seat.
She does respond in Dwarven, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a note.
I assume so because she probably deals with dwarves.
Just make sure. You sit across from her. She looks at you. She appears to be maybe middle-aged. She's got long, blondish hair. She's 4 foot, so dwarf size roughly, and she appears to be some kind of halfling. You're not super clear on what the distinctions are between them. You know there are some, but she's got cold blue eyes.
I want a hippogriff egg.
I only know one of those, mister.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same one. So that's why I need your help.
That's a big job.
It is.
Take a big man to fill that position, or a small woman.
Yeah. It does.
You want me to do this? Or...
Well, I'm willing to offer any assistance. Yeah, but like whatever you can, like whatever plan you can devise to like get us this thing, then.
And you want me to go surveying that egg? It's going to be a hefty cost. Those go for about 1,000 gold pieces on the market, if you can find a buyer.
Well, I'm not trying to sell it.
But you're trying to take it.
Yeah, I want to return it.
I don't... What I survey isn't, none of my business where, what kind of building they build on those lands, or whether they build it somewhere else.
What about...
I care about the money.
How do you feel about working?
Working?
Not in an official capacity.
What you mean?
So I have a certain influence in Wakeport, and I do feel like the position of spy master is available.
You're telling me you need a spy master in Wakeport?
Yeah.
What's that come with? What kind of benefits could I expect?
You got a lot of leeway to do a lot of things that normally you wouldn't, that would get you killed. Let me just put it like that. I'm willing to look the other way for some of these things because I'm a man of influence there myself, you know, being part of the court and all.
When you first said this just a moment ago, it sounded mighty nice, but if I'm being paid in leeway, I'm not. I'm looking for gold, and something like that sounds like a salaried position.
It is. That's salary. That's just you know, standard. The leeway is the bonus.
All right. Well, you better make good on this deal. I expect a nice salary, accommodations on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
That's what's being offered, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm. That is what's being offered.
Down in Wakeport. Never been there myself, but it's better than what I got here right now.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case.
That sounds like a mighty fine deal to me, Mr. Elf. I think we could do this. Take about a day or so to get to Mon Thoris. But you got influence there? You got any skills that would help me lift this egg, since we seem to be working together on this job? I
have some skills. I can cast some spells.
Well, we better get to planning. That egg's locked up in that mansion real nice like, Monthoris.
Yeah,
And
and
surveying its stuff.
this needs to be done rather quickly because probably less than a week if we can help it.
Let's talk planning, and she will relax a bit, slide you a drink that she hasn't touched yet, and look to Mikey and you, and I think we will end our session here as we plan our heist of this egg next session. If that's good with you.
All right. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
I'm out here promising things I don't have, but I'm kind of desperate.
Look, you offered, she'll go along as you don't, fuck her over, I guess.
Yeah, best case scenario is that she dies on the mission.
But we'll do XP. So let's do that. I don't think we got into any combat this session, but that's okay. You don't always do that. Shoot you this much for the average session. I'll give you this much for role-playing. Is there anything else notable that happened? Casted only mount spells, and those aren't really overcoming much.
Oh, not really.
Okay, just a lot of role-playing. I'll shoot 900 XP your way for this session. I think next session, if you complete the quest assigned, you'll see more stuff go on, but I do think you level. Yeah, 5,000? Passed it. So I think you want to roll me another D6 for HP. First off. As we level up. Another 2 HP for Elred.
Lower than average, but...
What does that bring you to?
Because I was at 8 before.
So you're at 10. You know what's hilarious? You and our second level fighter, third level thief, have the same hit points. Because he rolled last session. You can see his last rolls in here. His D10, he rolled a 3, and then a D6 he rolled an 8, and then in frustration he tried to re-roll his D10 and say, "Look at what I could have done," and he rolled an 8, but he rolled a 3, and that's split between the classes, so it's halved. So he had half of that added to his HP pool. Oh dear. But other than that, I think you get more spells, don't you?
Wants to learn more spells, right? According to the last conversation we had.
Yes, so you get second level spells, and you get 1 new first level spell, so make sure to keep that account. Sorry, you get 2 new ones, one being required to be Conjuration, and another just being a generalist first level spell. And we get to learn some spells here. Have you thought about what you want to pick? We talked about 2 different ways to do it. You could either guaranteed 1 or roll for 3. Which method did you want to do? By the book, it's guaranteed 1.
Roll for them.
Roll for the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, which 3 spells do you want to roll for? And you need to get, I believe, depending on the spell, a different number. So, what are your 3 second level spells you want to roll for as you become a level 3 wizard?
Choke.
What'd you say?
Choke is one of them.
Choke. Where is that? Is that...
I think it's... Let me see if I can find where it is.
That...
It is in a book called The Complete Wizard's Handbook.
Ah, okay. Let's try and find this spell. Complete Wizard's Handbook. spells. Choke, 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 choke. Boop, boop. Do you know what choke does off the top of your head, out of curiosity?
Yeah, I do actually. Let me.
It's a
I'm
necromancy
reading it.
spell.
Conjuration / necromancy.
Yes. Must be human, demi-human. The choke will strangle the affected victim for the duration of the spell. Each round, the victim suffers 1d4 hit points of damage from the choking hand. If the victim makes a special saving throw, he suffers half damage each round. Choke can be negated by spell magic. Handkerchief. Okay. You can definitely roll for this. It's a necromancy and conjuration summoning spell.
Does it? Wait, does that mean that I roll at 90%, right?
You roll at your higher number, which is plus 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
To your base roll, which your base roll is 75. So, yeah, that sounds right to me. Yeah, 80 plus another 10 is 90. So, give me your D100 for choke. That's a success, if I do say so myself. So, you can add choke to your spell list. So, that's one. What other spells do you want to roll for?
Glitter dust.
Glitter dust. Is that a classic conjuration spell, I believe?
I believe so.
Yes. You can give me a D100, another 90% or lower. There we go. You learn glitter dust. Just as a note, it will be basically the idea is that you've been studying this over a period of weeks in your free time, and you are just now writing it down and being able to comprehend these spells in your book. But that being said, what is your third spell?
Cat's Grace.
Cat's Grace. I think that's Abjuration.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna fail this one, but I have to try it.
And that's minus 15, so you're at, what is it, 75? So you're rolling at 60? Is that right? No. Yeah, right?
60.
Yep. Give me D100.
Oh, yes.
You get Cat's Grace with a nice 49. You learn all three of these second level spells, and you get to cast 2 second level spells. One has to be Conjuration, though, so keep that in mind. Okay. Did you add to your XP total yet, or no? Don't know if you did.
Not.
You want me to do it? I can do it on the sheet if you'd like me to.
No, I will do that.
Okay.
I think where I'm
900 plus your 10%. And I think that's all
Do
she
I
wrote.
get XP for learning these spells?
You get for spell research, would mean you've built a library on your own, so no, you do not get XP for learning these spells.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Research would be you build a library to research new spells, or ones that exist that you don't have access to.
Well, if you look on my sheet where it says,
What'd you say?
if you look on my sheet where it says special abilities and attacks, or at like where it has like a little note thing, I've been like adding each XP like kind of manually.
I see that. Cool. It's a good way to do it.
The percentages can be kind of confusing, especially like when there's no record of it.
Yep.
But that's just like the base. And I get to learn a first level spell for free, right?
I don't think so. Am I wrong about that?
You said something about that. That's why I was asking.
It's new spell levels, as in you get a new sphere. Basically, not sphere. Like you get level 2 spells, you get level 3, etc. You do not get another first level, but you have second level spells, Elred. So that's fun. Pulling the choke out on me though was a surprise. It's not a bad.
That's for cast.
Yes. You have a damage spell, though. That isn't a first level, so that you can cast with your conjuration slot, which is pretty good. You needed one of those.
I could have gotten acid arrow, but
I think choke is
like,
better. From that
Yeah,
mistake.
choke is more uh, has like the second benefit of making sure no one can cast, which is just actually really strong. It's ridiculously strong.
Yeah, it's a good spell.
Because there's no save. It just happens.
Save for half damage.
Yeah, the effect still
Yeah,
pops off.
it does. You've gained this seemingly evil spell for your lawful good wizard, which is interesting. Hopefully you only use it against evil people.
Yeah, I did think about that, but it was more of a I don't know. It's weird, right? Because it's not something that like necessarily brings something back from the dead or anything
No?
like that. It's just like more malicious than most people.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of like Force Choke from like Star Wars, right?
It is along that. I think that's probably what they had in mind writing this in the, is it the 80s? Somewhere around there. So.
I feel like it's only evil in relation to the fact that like Darth Vader used it.
Yeah. Well, it can only be used against humans and demi-humans or humanoids, so, you know,
yeah.
choking goblins and half-orcs and evil humanoids, I guess. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a cool spell to have. I dig it. Dig it. Man, that's wild. There's no save for that, except for the damage.
I know. I think it's hands out probably this it's definitely like to me like the most busted like second level spell I can see.
For conjuration, at least, I'd say.
Yeah, for conjuration, yeah.
Well, I dig it. I dig it. Okay, well, that's our session. That's your leveling. Are you free next Tuesday? I don't think I'll have internet issues again. They fixed the cable, so.
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
I am.
8 a.m. We might stream that, but we recorded this, so to our audience, we'll see you next time. And to Teo or Elred, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
See you, homie.